Yeah!
Hi, good afternoon. All the people attending. Who wants me to present in English, or should I go to Dutch? Kantonees?
Kantonees lijkt wel spannend.
Are there any people that don't understand Dutch? Alright, I'll keep it real. Alright, welcome to my presentation, building a secure and cost-effective foundation for your cloud. My name is Koen van Bakel. I'm a senior solution architect here in the Benelux for virtualization and cloud. And in that role I talk a lot to customers and help in design of solutions, but also help presenting, positioning products, and be a focal point for customers to also get information back to product management and or the sales organization. Today is about cloud, and here's a short agenda of what I would like to present today. First, the road to cloud, but I'll keep that one short because we heard a lot about it already. Introduction to the Red Hat Cloud portfolio. I will especially talk about 3 products today: Virtualization RAV, Cloud Forms, and also OpenShift. Then go into Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, and the main part of this presentation will go about that topic. Then a live demo. It's about, I think, 5 to 10 minutes, depending also on the questions you all ask. A little bit about the roadmap. What are we going to do? 3.1 is coming up this year, later this year. But that's not definitely a slide deck that I have that I present. It's woven into the presentation, so I'll talk about 3.1 also. REV subscription services, as you know, we don't sell licenses. We have a subscription model. That's why you don't have an upfront cost when you go and use REV or any other product of Red Hat. And so I will deep dive into REV subscription. And a couple of references, and then a Q&A section. I've got here in the audience several people from Red Hat that can join me at that time. If you have any questions about the positioning or the roadmap of, or strategy for cloud and the products, you can ask them at that time. But if you want, you can always ask a question also middle in the presentation. I like that even, since otherwise it will be a monologue from my side, and that's no fun at all. So today is all about cloud computing, and cloud is about reducing operating expenses and scale resources rapidly. And advantages you get when you go to the cloud are things like ease automation, flexibility, reliability, mobility, but should I say portability? And there are a lot of other things that you can get when you go to cloud. But how can we get there? Now that's quite easy, or quite easy, it takes time, but there are 3 steps we see to go to cloud. And the first one, is the basis, is the foundation of cloud, is go and virtualize your server environment and or desktop environment. After that, and by the way, if you virtualize your servers, we would like you to use REV, of course, rather than enterprise virtualization, but if you use another product, that's okay too. Then automate the virtualized environment a bit more. That's when we talk about going to a private cloud. It's using virtualization mechanisms underneath as the foundation, and you put automation layer on top of it and integrate these. And if you talk about private cloud, then it's still in your own environment. It's a contained environment, closed environment, but it's using the technology building blocks that we use also in other cloud forms like public clouds or hybrid clouds. So you get familiar with the technologies, and then after the automation bit, you can go further, but I'm not sure if that's useful for everybody here in the room. You can go to integrate with public clouds to get more scalability, more resource flexibility, etc. So the cloud portfolio we have from Red Hat, and I presented here 3 products, separate products. is down virtualization, the basis, the foundations of cloud. Then cloud forms, which integrates the automation into the environment. And yeah, how can you best say that? If you look at REV, Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, you can see that as the VMware of Red Hat, right? It's providing the same functionality. It's enterprise ready. We'll go and have a look at it further on in this presentation. And if you look at cloud forms, that's not only addressing infrastructure hardware, but it's also addressing applications. What you can do with cloud forms is put a layer on top of your virtualized environment and create standard-based templates or images, whatever you like them to call, for applications as well as operating environments. And you can automate then your virtualization environment. So what cloud forms does is not that it's only a separate product. Now it integrates with REV and it provides you a management, automation management interface to REV, for example. The cloud forms is not limited, since we're an open company, it's not limited to only REV. If you have VMware as a virtualization environment, that's okay. Cloud forms can cooperate with that one, no problem. If you want to use later on in the public cloud stage Amazon, also no problem. Cloud forms can go and work together with Amazon. This is all about the Delta Cloud API. And then we've got OpenShift, and OpenShift provides you the platform as a service environment, and that's more for the development side of the house. It's deploying and managing applications in a cloud environment. And what you see now is that OpenShift is based on public cloud. Now let's have a closer look at virtualization, the foundation of a cloud environment. Before I go into REV, what's driving virtualization at the moment? Now, the first thing you see is cost reduction, and that's a surprise, is it? Yes. Cost reduction, 77%. The third one, storage and storage consolidation. Disaster recovery, business continuity. And so, these are all familiar things, but what about, I don't see real things from the business side here. Yeah, I see things like cost reduction and optimizing hardware, but not from the business or the application side, and that's strange.
Business agility then?
Yeah, business agility, yeah, to continue your business, etc. Yeah, of course, but...
but that's on the application level, I guess.
That's on the application level, yeah.
Yeah, functionality.
Yeah, okay, but that's the one.
Yeah,
I would think... I would think that it would be more on top. But that's maybe a discussion we should have at the end. It's only a remark from my side. But this is an IGG research paper that says these things, and cost reduction is number one. If you look at the market today, 50% of the Intel environments, or customers using an Intel environment, is virtualized at this time frame. And the expectation is that we will see that in about 3 to 5 years, everybody is using virtualization technology. So it's evolving. It's an evolving process. 50% is already there. Another 50% has to start off with it. Virtualization is seen as a mature technology already. It's there in the market for a couple of years. It's KVM based, or it's VMware, or whatever products you buy. There are different products available for virtualization. But what you should expect from a mature product in the market, or what you should see, is that there will be competition. And it's strange that there wasn't real competition until now. We now introduce REV, and KVM is also promoted by IBM, HP, Intel, AMD, etc. So what you see now is that the competition gets in. And what this chart says is also that most customers are now also looking at several products to use for virtualization. Not only one, but several. So try the competition, see what's best for you. And that's a big amount of customers that are looking into it. So Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization, REV for short. REV is a product we have for quite some time already, but the marketing machine within Red Hat is now really rolling. This is a product, enterprise-grade management and hypervisor for end server and desktop virtualization. We have only one product, and with that one product, we do end server and desktop virtualization. And we go and see also the demo of that. We have an ecosystem around it. There are quite a lot of ISVs working together with us on REV to provide a total solution for the customer as a cloud foundation. And I will introduce also some of the ISVs this afternoon. What I said earlier is that we have this product already for a short time, or for quite a time. The basis of REV was provided by a company called Kumranet. And we bought Kumranet in 2008, and they provided already KVM virtualization, so kernel-based virtualization product, and they were forming the basis of that also. And they also provided a management interface to it. And that was browser-based management interface, but there was one slight problem with it. It was not open source. And then I say it gently, I think. It was proprietary. It was running on a .NET environment. And we could do two things with it. Or we could buy Kumranet and withdraw the product from market and let everybody in blind. So we do nothing with it. Or we put it onto market, we rebrand it as REV. It's still proprietary at that time. And we say that we as Red Hat will enter the virtualization market. And we'll have a strategy, a firm strategy for cloud computing. So that's what we did the last thing. We rebranded it to Red Hat Enterprise Virtualization 2.1. We did that in the 2009 timeframe. We came up with the product, a 2.2 version, and in version 3, and we introduced that one in the half of January for this year. We have now a completely open sourced product, no proprietary backend anymore. We're using Postgres as a database in the backend, JBoss as an application server. We have Red Hat Enterprise Linux in the fundamentals of the product as a kernel. We use KVM, so it's completely open source, and we open sourced it. And we did that in November last year. The upstream, as we call it, from REV in the market is now called Overt, Open Virtualization. If you go to overt.org, you will see everything what is happening about virtualization. So when we introduced this virtualization product, it's you now have a choice. It's not only the VMwares or Citrix of this world or whatever. We now have our own product running for competition, and if you Google the product, you will see very, very positive things about it. No doubt about it. And what we try to aim for with REV is that it will do the same for virtualization as Linux did for Unix. That's our aim. But it will be open source and it will be open. So what can we do with it? We give support for almost every operating system that is into market at this time frame. So what we can do with REV is we have a hypervisor running on a host, and on that host on that hypervisor we can run several instances or VMs, how you want to call it. Those VMs that can run every Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system version, but also the main Windows operating system versions. And you see Windows 2003, 2008, 2008 R2, as well as the 32-bit as the 64-bit versions are fully supported. These are the operating environments we support as Red Hat. And these operating environments are also, if it's Windows-based, are supported by Microsoft. We have a cross-certification to each other. It's called the SVVP program. So Microsoft will never question the use of RAV in the background. No problem at all. Now you have some specs. On a host we can support 160 physical CPUs. So one system running VMs, 160 CPUs. We have now also a system from Silicon Graphics, I think. That is also supported, that has 1280 CPUs in it. So we can scale, no problem. We support 2 terabytes of memory, and in 3.1 we get these figures out. So later this year, you'll probably see memory go up to 8 terabytes in a host. In a guest, so a VM running on the host, we support about 64 virtual CPUs. I have to mention here it states CPUs, but it's virtual CPUs. And we support 512 gigabytes of memory in a VM. That will go up also later on this year, probably about 2 terabytes in a guest. And the Rev Manager. The Rev Manager is the console, the web interface, to manage complete virtualized infrastructure based on Rev. The Rev Manager, and I will present that later to you, can support 200 hosts in an environment from one single screen. That's what we've tested. The theoretical limit is much higher. It's about 400, but in the labs we're testing now about 1,000 houses. So, Rev KVM based, open. KVM is mature. You can trust it. It's part of the kernel since 2006. So Linus Torvalds approved it. He's still on Linux. So KVM is there. Implements nice features, things like live migration of a host, for example, or memory sharing, thin provisioning for disk uses. This is part of KVM. That's not definitely RAV, it's KVM based. What we do is put some extra features on top of KVM and make it manageable and get some extra features. Sorry, I have to go back one slide. Yeah. Then I have to mention KVM is requiring Intel or AMD virtualization instruction sets. So we can't run it on other platforms. We have only support for Intel or AMD environments. Security, one big factor in cloud. I heard the conversation just a minute ago. Here questions asking about security. This is one of the things we have really implemented also in RAV. And this is very important. And this is, I think, absolutely a differentiator to other products, virtualization products. If you look, the RAV hypervisor is based on the Red Hat Enterprise Linux kernel, or the Red Hat Enterprise Linux operating system. And as a Linux is the security model we use in there. So to provide extra protection. And I know, and in Dutch you say, het heeft een lage aardbaarheidsfactor as a Linux. It's not that intuitive, or how do you call it in English? Yeah? But it's, who uses as a Linux, by the way? Alright, that's good. Because I hear somebody telling me that as a Linux you won't use it. So you disable it?
No, sometimes you have to.
Alright, yeah, sometimes you have to, that's true about it. If you can, please make use of it. It's great technology, and the main function is that it secures your operating system. And what we do is we implement SA Linux, but we have also SVirt that we use. And that's SVirt is an extension of SA Linux, for example, to put it that way, is an extension on SA Linux that makes VMs secure, that encapsulates VMs. So we provide a lot of security features and harden the product for virtualization. Now, what features does RAV have? High availability. Now, what do I have to say about high availability? I think everybody knows what high availability is. If something goes wrong on side A, yeah, okay, pick the applications up, the VMs up, and go to the other side. That's what high availability does, or should do. We do that with RAP, and it's a standard feature in the product. Live migration, system scheduler functions, power saver. Now, power saver is a thing. If you have an environment with, for example, 5 hosts, and you're running workload during the day that really claims all those 5 hosts, the resources are necessary, but at night time you could handle the load with, for example, 2 hosts only, and not all 5. Then what you can do with this function is put down 3 servers, get the application environments moved to the 2 hosts that you can still use, and shut those other 3 completely down. And then necessary again, the RAP manager function will see that, switch on the servers again, and load balance the images. That's what we do.
And can I ask a question?
Yeah.
High availability usually is a local phenomenon. And if you go to another site, it's usually disaster recovery kind of business continuity.
Yeah.
Can you repeat the question?
Yeah, of course. The question is, or the remark is, high availability is seen as mostly a local situation.
Yeah.
And if you go and switch to another site, it's mostly seen as a DR or disaster recovery environment.
And are there any provisions for that situation?
For DR?
Yes.
Yeah, we have lots of things to do that, and we have also several ISVs working with us to do that. For example, Acronis, backup recovery, etc., and the DR suite is available. But we also have in the foundations of the product the basics there to do that kind of stuff. The only thing what I have to mention is we do live migration, and it's good that you asked this question. We have live migration on hosts, so VMs, and we do not have, at this time frame, live storage migration, so we can't switch from a storage box. So that would be a DR scenario then, definitely. In 3.1, we will get at least as a tech preview, live storage migration enabled in the product. So, image management functions are there, monitoring and reporting, also a differentiator, I think, but we'll have a look later on. Virtual to virtual technology, so move a VM from VMware, for example, to RAP, no problem at all. You could do it because we're open also the other way around, but I don't hope that you will do that. But we have the problems. Now the interface, how will it present itself? Here, short version. This is the new one that we will get in 3.1. And this is what I would like to show you more in practical details. How do you manage, how do you go with RAP? So I will now switch to the demo.